All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Sarabjit Kaur. The headlines. Over 18,000 crore rupees to be transferred to more than 9 crore farmers' account under PM Kisan scheme by Prime Minister Narendra Modi today. Nation pays homage to former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee on his birth anniversary. Government allows free shooting of films at ASI sites till 15th of August next year. European Union and Britain reach an agreement over post-Brexit trade. In football, FIFA postpones Under-17 and Under-20 World Cups till 2023 due to coronavirus pandemic. And Christmas being celebrated across the globe today. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now, the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will release the next installment of financial benefit under Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi PM Kisan scheme at 12 noon today through video conferencing. With a push of a button, the Prime Minister will enable the transfer of more than 18,000 crore rupees to over 9 crore beneficiary farmer families. The Prime Minister will also interact with farmers from 6 different states during the event. The farmers will share their experiences about PM Kisan scheme and also on various other initiatives taken by the government for the welfare of farmers. Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar will also be present on the occasion. Under the PM Kisan scheme, a financial benefit of 6,000 rupees per year is provided to small and marginal farmers, payable in 3 equal 4 monthly installments of 2,000 rupees each. The fund is transferred directly to the bank accounts of the beneficiaries. Speaking about the event, the Agriculture Minister said, former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's birth anniversary today is also celebrated as Sushasan Divas or Good Governance Day. He said after Mr. Modi became the Prime Minister, many steps have been taken to promote good governance, ease of living and transparency. Mr. Tomar said direct benefit transfer or DBT is an important scheme for good governance and transparency. The minister said there was a time when out of 100 rupees sent by the government, only 15 rupees used to reach villages, but the Modi government managed to send full 100 rupees to people directly through DBT. The central government has written to the farmer unions inviting them for talks and reiterated its commitment to discuss and find solution to all the issues raised by them. It has asked them to decide the date and time for the next round of talks. In a letter to the farmer unions, Joint Secretary in the Agriculture Ministry Vivek Agrawal asserted that Centre is always ready to hold talks with an open mind and to reaching logical solutions of the issues raised by the protesting farmers. Minister of State for Jal Shakti Ratan Lal Kataria has said that the Parliament has passed the 3 farm bills for improving the overall economic condition of the farmers, which is congruent to the Union government's goal of doubling the farmers' income. He said these bills will provide new rights and opportunities to farmers and further empower them in the long run. Mr. Kataria strongly criticized the opposition parties who are trying to play politics over this matter and termed them as opportunists. Mr. Kataria said the government has regularly raised the minimum support price or MSP for procurement of crops. In 2019-20, in 2019-2020, the government has cumulatively increased the MSP up to 2.5 times as compared to the year 2013-14. The minister stressed that the Modi government has been working tirelessly towards the welfare of farmers.
The nation pays homage to former Prime Minister and Bharat Ratna Atal Bihari Vajpayee on his 96th birth anniversary today. The day is also celebrated as Good Governance Day or Sushasan Divas. Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid rich tributes to the former Prime Minister on his birth anniversary. Mr. Modi said, under the visionary leadership of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the country witnessed unprecedented heights of development. He said the efforts of Mr. Vajpayee to build a strong and prosperous India will always be remembered. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also release a book titled Atal Bihari Vajpayee in Parliament, a commemorative volume on the birth anniversary of Vajpayee. This book, published by the Lok Sabha Secretariat, highlights the life and works of the iconic leader and contains notable speeches that were delivered by him in Parliament. The book also contains some rare photographs from Atal Bihari Vajpayee's public life. Home Minister Amit Shah paid rich tributes to the veteran leader on his birth anniversary. Mr. Shah said, Bharat Ratna Atal Bihari Vajpayee started the era of good governance, development and welfare of the downtrodden in the country through his ideology and principle-based politics. Paying tribute to the iconic leader, Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar said, Atal Bihari Vajpayee's principle-based politics and life will keep inspiring generations to come. Mr. Javadekar also conveyed greetings of Good Governance Day to every citizen. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was elected 10 times to the Lok Sabha and twice to the Rajya Sabha. The tallest leader of BJP, he was a parliamentarian par excellence who had the trust, affection and belief of the people in his leadership. As a parliamentarian and particularly as Prime Minister, he made innumerable important contributions which paved the way for a stronger economy through bold reforms and rapid development of infrastructure. Let's revisit the poetic side of former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee in his own voice.
टूटे हुए सपने की सुने कौन सिसकी, अंतर को चीर व्यथा पलकों पर ठिठकी, हार नहीं मानूंगा, रार नहीं ठानूंगा, काल के कपाल पर लिखता मिटाता हूँ, गीत नया गाता हूँ.
In Uttar Pradesh, Kisan Goshtis or Farmers Conclave is being organized all over the state on the occasion. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also interact with the farmers of the state through video conference. State BJP unit will hold Kisan Samvad event at over 2,500 places across Uttar Pradesh. More details on this from our Lucknow correspondent.
Cooperative Minister of State Mukut Bihari Verma said that the Kisan Goshtis or farmer conclaves will be organized today at 1210 places across the state. There will be arrangement for display of Prime Minister's speech live on LED screens. He said that during these Kisan Goshtis, farmers will be provided information regarding the schemes being run by central and state governments for their welfare. Meanwhile, state BJP unit will also reach to the farmers of a state during 3 days campaign starting from today. Today, party will organize Kisan Samvad functions at over 2,500 places in state. On December 26 and 27, all public representatives, including party officials at the state, will be present at their booths and pay tributes to former PM Atal Bihari Vajpayee while doing social work. They will also read out the letter of Union Agriculture Minister highlighting the importance of the new farm legislation. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Gujarat BJP spokesperson Bharat Pandya has said that the party, along with the state government, will organize Kisan Kalyan programs at 248 blocks on the Good Governance Day. The party has also organized big screens in the rural areas of the state for live telecast of the release of 18,000 crore rupees into 9 crore farmers' accounts by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
State BJP along with the state government have organized mass screening of PM Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana through big LED screen in the rural areas of the state. Senior ministers and office bearers of the party will participate in such programs. Chief Minister Vijay Rupani, Deputy Chief Minister Nitin Patel and State BJP President C.R. Patil and other dignitaries will also remain present in Kisan Kalyan programs to be held at 248 blocks. Functions will also organize at 51,000 booths to pay the floral tribute to the former Prime Minister and Bharat Ratna Atal Bihari Vajpayee on his birth anniversary today. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
The nation also remembers educationist and freedom fighter Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya on his birth anniversary today. Also known as Mahamana, he strived to promote modern education among Indians and founded the Banaras Hindu University at Varanasi in 1916. He was posthumously conferred with Bharat Ratna on 24th December 2014. Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tributes to the educationist Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya on his birth anniversary. Mr. Modi said Pandit Malviya devoted his entire life towards social reform and service of the nation. He said Pandit Malviya's contribution for the country will continue to inspire generations to come. Home Minister Amit Shah paid tributes to Bharat Ratna Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya. Mr. Shah said Pandit Malviya's efforts in awakening the national pride and self-reliance in citizens, in addition to his service towards educating the people and setting up of Banaras Hindu University, can never be forgotten.
Union Ministry of Culture has allowed free shooting of photographs or videos at the monuments maintained by the Archaeological Survey of India ASI, except iconic sites including World Heritage Sites till 15th of August next year as part of celebrations to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the country's independence. The ministry said people or agencies working on projects involving the heritage, national language promotion, Indian tradition and culture, freedom fighters, freedom struggle, folk music and language and tourism will be exempt from paying the fees for shooting photographs or videos at the monuments maintained by the ASI. The exemption commences from the birth anniversary of former Prime Minister late Atal Bihari Vajpayee today. Online permission is needed to carry out such shooting activities. This waiver will, however, not be applicable at the iconic sites that include World Heritage Sites under ASI's management. Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari has announced that FASTag is being made mandatory for all vehicles in the country from New Year. Addressing a virtual function, Mr. Gadkari said FASTag will be enforced from 1st of January 2021. Enumerating its benefits, the minister said it is useful for the commuters as they will not need to stop at toll plazas for cash payments.
Union Consumer Affairs Minister Piyush Goyal has appealed to all the consumers to be vocal for local, to prefer indigenous products and services. Addressing a function on National Consumer Day yesterday, Mr. Goyal said the government is committed to protection of rights of consumers. He emphasized the need for greater commitment towards quality and standards and Atmanirbhar Bharat. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch Ayushman Bharat PM Jai Sehat to extend coverage to all the residents of Jammu and Kashmir at 12 noon tomorrow through video conferencing. The scheme will ensure universal health coverage and focus on providing financial risk protection and ensuring quality and affordable essential health services to all individuals and communities. Home Minister Amit Shah and Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha will also be present on the occasion.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Over 18,000 crore rupees to be transferred to more than 9 crore farmers' account under PM Kisan scheme by Prime Minister Narendra Modi today. Nation pays homage to former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee on his birth anniversary. Government allows free shooting of films at ASI sites till 15th of August next year. European Union and Britain reach an agreement over post-Brexit trade. In football, FIFA postpones under-17 and under-20 World Cups till 2023 due to coronavirus pandemic and Christmas being celebrated across the globe today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
India has crossed a significant milestone in its fight against COVID. With a continuous decline in the number of active corona cases, the active caseload in the country has further decreased to stand at 2.80%. The active cases in the country witnessed a decline of nearly 5,400 cases in the past 24 hours to stand at around 2,83,000. The number of new daily cases remained even below 25,000, with 24,712 cases being reported in the last 24 hours. The national cumulative recovery rate has also further improved to be at 95.75%, with a recovery of over 96,93,000 people so far. Madhya Pradesh continues to report more recoveries than positive corona cases. State registered a decline in active cases. So far, more than 2,21,000 patients have recovered from COVID infection in the state. Around 29,200 tests have been carried out in the state yesterday, out of which 1,038 new positive cases were reported. With 12 people succumbing to the infection, the death toll rose to 3,524. More from our Bhopal correspondent.
As per Health Bulletin of State Department, 1,118 patients recovered yesterday. The number of new cases remained below 10 in 32 districts of the state. No new case has been reported in Shyopur and Burhanpur districts. Maximum COVID positive case continues to register at Indore, followed by Bhopal. Indore District Nodal Officer for COVID-19 Prevention, Amit Malakar, informed that the list of passengers who returned to Indore from Britain was received from the state government. As per the standard operating procedure, sample of these passengers is being tested by RT-PCR method. Pooja Pivardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
The Bihar government has issued guidelines for opening of educational institutions in the state from 4th of January. Schools from class 9th onwards, colleges and coaching institutes are permitted to allow only 50% of students. They have been asked to call students in batches on alternative days. Principal Secretary Education Sanjay Kumar said students will be allowed to attend the physical classes only after the written consent of their parents or guardians. The educational institutions have to make arrangements for online classes for those who do not wish to attend the physical classes. All educational institutions are facing closure since March 15 owing to nationwide lockdown triggered by COVID-19. Odisha government has decided to conduct RT-PCR test on all incoming passengers from the United Kingdom to the state. It has also decided to go for intense contact tracing and surveillance of such passengers following the detection of the highly infectious mutant strain of the SARS-CoV-2 in the United Kingdom. More details on this from our Odisha correspondent.
As per reports, 43 persons have arrived in Odisha from the United Kingdom during the last 14 days. All these UK returnees are now under the scanner of the administration to checkmate the new viral strain. Meanwhile, the government have declared the Bhubaneswar-based Institute of Life Sciences as the designated laboratory for genome sequencing of the SARS-CoV-2. Standard operating procedures have also been issued to the concerned authorities on collection, storage and transport of samples for genome sequencing to track down the transmissibility of the new strain. Naresh Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa has withdrawn the night curfew order in the state. He said that the decision to withdraw the night curfew was taken after discussion with the cabinet colleagues and senior officials. The night curfew order was supposed to come into force from midnight last night. The Chief Minister said people of the state were also against the idea of night curfew. President Ram Nath Kovind will be on a 4-day visit to Diu beginning today. He will inaugurate the Jalandhar Circuit House in Diu. Tomorrow, the President will inaugurate and lay the foundation stone for various developmental projects in Diu, such as inauguration of first academic session of IIIT Vadodara International Campus Diu, improvement of 1.3-kilometer heritage walkway on Diu City Wall, and upgradation of fruits and vegetable market at Fort Road. On the same day, Mr. Kovind will also inaugurate the INS Khukri Memorial. India has sent 15 tons of flood relief support to Vietnam under Mission Sagar 3. An Indian naval ship, Kiltan, carrying humanitarian assistance arrived at Vietnam's Nha Rong port in the Ho Chi Minh city yesterday to deliver 15 tons of relief material for flood-affected people. The mission is a part of India's humanitarian assistance and disaster relief assistance to friendly foreign countries during the ongoing pandemic.
The News Services Division brings glimpses of the year that was in our special series Year Ender. The reform in cities has been one of the top agendas of the NDA government. Smart Cities mission was launched in 2015 to promote sustainable and inclusive cities that provide core infrastructure and give a decent quality of life to its citizens, a clean and sustainable environment, and application of smart solutions. 100 smart cities are proposed to be developed. At the launch of Smart City Mission in June 2015, the Prime Minister outlined how, for the first time, government has used the challenge mode for selection of smart cities. In this method, the onus of categorizing a city into a smart city lies largely with the people and the local bodies.
पहली बार हिंदुस्तान में चैलेंज रूट के आधार पर स्मार्ट सिटी बनाने का निर्णय किया है. दुनिया के कई देशों ने ये प्रयोग किया. कुछ पैरामीटर तय किए और जो शहर इस पैरामीटर को पूर्ति करेगा वो एंट्री पाएगा स्पर्धा में, फिर उसकी दूसरी एग्जाम देनी पड़ेगी, उसको पार करेगा तो सिलेक्ट होगा। जब सिलेक्ट होगा तो फिर भारत सरकार, राज्य सरकार मिल करके उस शहर की ताकत में साथ जोड़ करके उसको स्मार्ट सिटी बनाने की दिशा में आगे बढ़े।
COVID-19 has affected almost the entire world, causing widespread disruptions in economies and healthcare services. India is no exception, but the mission to develop 100 smart cities in India has seen an upturn in the post-lockdown months as the funds utilization has almost doubled. Our correspondent takes a look at the progress of Smart Cities mission.
Out of the proposed 100 smart cities, in 53 cities, integrated command and control centers are functional, and it is helping in a huge way to control crime against women. World Economic Forum has rightly appreciated the government's smart city mission, saying Indian smart cities offer a model for pandemic recovery. The forum said Indian government leveraged this smart cities mission to enable cities to effectively leverage technology in improving citizen services and overall quality of life. The magnitude of the COVID-19 crisis presented many challenges for cities to overcome, including a lack of available staff, technical knowledge to repurpose existing smart solutions, and capacity building and training for those manning COVID-19 war rooms. Technology adoption across smart cities in India target to provide better service delivery to citizens and improving the quality of life. Cities clearly demonstrated that technology and data-driven decision-making are critical for ensuring effective citizen outreach and service delivery. To institutionalize this transformation, government is now on a path to write institutional coordination mechanisms and data-driven service delivery. Infrastructure elements in smart city include adequate water supply, assured electricity supply, sanitation, including solid waste management, efficient urban mobility and public transport, affordable housing, especially for the poor, robust IT connectivity and digitalization. Most notably, security of citizens, particularly women, children and elderly, and health and education are the core areas of smart cities, and government is on a mission mode to improve their lives. Saubhagyakar, Air News, Delhi.
European Union and the United Kingdom have struck a post-Brexit trade deal after months of negotiations over future business rules just a week before the deadline. The British government has announced that the deal is done. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson declared that they have completed the biggest deal yet, worth £668 billion a year. He said it will protect jobs across this country and enable the United Kingdom goods to be sold without tariffs and without quotas in the European Union market. Mr. Johnson said it is a good deal for the whole of Europe. The Britain's Parliament is set to vote on 30th of this month on the deal. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said this was a long and winding road, but we have got a good deal to show for it. She said the deal was fair and balanced and UK remains a trusted partner. Once ratified by the EU leaders, the European Parliament and the UK government, the agreement will ensure Britain and the 27-nation bloc can continue to trade in goods without tariffs or quotas after the UK breaks fully free of the EU on 1st of next month. The United Kingdom is set to exit EU trading rules by 31st of this month, a year after officially leaving the bloc.
Christmas is being celebrated across the globe today. Christians all over the world celebrate Christmas to mark the birth of Jesus Christ. On the occasion, people decorate their houses by putting a Christmas tree, illuminated paper star, holy wreaths, and exchange gifts. However, Christmas celebrations are a low-key affair this year in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. Goa ushered in the Christmas festivities with the eye-catching decorations, symbolic Christmas cribs, and midnight masses in churches and chapels. More from our Panaji correspondent.
Owing to COVID pandemic, restrictions are seen on the usual crowded events of Christmas. Pedne police traded their khaki uniforms for a red suit of Santa Claus to spread not just Christmas cheer but COVID awareness as well. Pamphlets were distributed among tourists and locals covering instructions and preventive measures of COVID as Christmas neared. Capital Panji city residents held a Christmas serenade cycle rally yesterday. In Goa, Christmas is known as Natala in local Konkani language. The sounds of jingle bells and other carol songs have added enthusiasm to the cheerful mood of the festival in Goa. Directorate of Art and Culture have organized crepe competition for individual as well as institutions category. It is received with good response. With Tushar Jadhav, Subhash Zand for AIR News from Panji, Goa.
President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have greeted the people on the occasion. In his message, the President expressed hope that the festival will nurture peace throughout the world and help maintain harmony in mankind. Vice President said, due to the prevailing COVID-19 pandemic this year, people must be content with a modest celebration. In his message, the Prime Minister said, the life and principles of Lord Christ give strength to millions across the world. In football, the World Football's governing body FIFA has cancelled Under-17 and Under-20 World Cups that were scheduled to be played next year due to coronavirus pandemic. These World Cups will now be played in 2023, with Indonesia still hosting the Under-20s and Peru the Under-17s. The Bureau of the FIFA Council said the COVID-19 pandemic continues to present challenges for the hosting of international sporting events and to have a restrictive effect on the international travel. The governing body said it became clear that the global situation has failed to normalize to a sufficient level to address the challenges associated with hosting both tournaments, including the feasibility of the relevant qualification pathways. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital will experience dense fog in the morning. The temperature will vary between 5 and 22 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. Temperature will vary between 16 and 32 degrees Celsius. Chennai will have partly cloudy sky. The temperature will hover between 21 and 29 degrees Celsius. In Kolkata, there was fog in the morning and the sky will be clear later. The city observed minimum temperature of 14 degrees Celsius and will observe a maximum of 26 degrees. Srinagar will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Temperature will hover between -3 degrees Celsius and 9 degrees. In Jammu, the minimum temperature was 7 degrees Celsius while maximum will be 21 degrees. The city will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night. Leh will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was -13 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be 0 degrees. Gilgit will have partly cloudy sky. The temperature will hover between -3 degrees to 6 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The temperature will move between 1 to 13 degrees Celsius. In Dehradun, the temperature will hover between 5 and 22 degrees Celsius. The city will have mainly clear sky.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Allaying the fears, the Pioneer in a top front page headline quotes the government, UK COVID strain not in India, while the Hindu headline says over 6,000 travellers from UK traced. The centre again writes to the farmers, ready to discuss all issues, headlines the Times of India. Government to present NDA report card on reform today, notes the Economic Times. An RBI study says growth to break into positive territory in Q3. GDP growth likely to be 14.2%, reports the Indian Express. Agreeing in principle to back the plan for cricket's inclusion in the Olympics, BCCI has unanimously passed the proposal to add 2 more teams to the Indian Premier League. The Hindustan Times writes, BCCI expands IPL to 10 teams, doesn't take up conflict issue. And finally, the Times of India quotes the Delhi Chief Minister saying, Delhi ready for vaccine rollout, 51 lakh to get jabs in phase 1.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Over 18,000 crore rupees to be transferred to more than 9 crore farmers' accounts under PM Kisan scheme by Prime Minister Narendra Modi today. Nation pays homage to former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee on his birth anniversary. Government allows free shooting of films at ASI sites till 15th of August next year. European Union and Britain reach an agreement over post-Brexit trade. In football, FIFA postpones Under-17 and Under-20 World Cups till 2023 due to coronavirus pandemic. And Christmas being celebrated across the globe today. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.